All right, folks, welcome back to episode 21. As always, we got the big man on the ones and twos. How we doing, Rob?
Good ourselves down.
I'm good, my man. It's an interesting day. We've I don't think we've ever recorded during the day before.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't we haven't. But I need to start off and, you know, apologize and say you were right and I owe you $10 because you did say Heritage Bluffs
On the last episode.
on the last episode. So you were right. I was wrong. I apologize.
Pay that man his monies.
Pay that man his monies is right.
You know what that's from?
Yeah, Rounders.
Correct. Great movie.
Great movie.
Anyhow, well, I appreciate that. We are in the trust tree.
We are in the trust tree.
But yeah, we had to move some things around. It's daytime right now. And actually I feel great. I feel alive compared to when we normally record, which is Monday nights. Mondays in general just stink for me. I just can't stand Mondays. There's also something about the sun being out and, maybe just something about the atmosphere is giving me a good vibe right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, look at the weather was nice on Saturday. It was actually perfect, to be honest with you. But then we had snow come down, so we're back to square one. But gets us excited for the golf season, that's for sure.
I was just going to say the weather on Saturday was unbelievable. I think we're going to be, starting to hit the mid 50s consistently here shortly, and hopefully you and I could both be back out in the garage. But until then, did you watch any of the API this weekend?
I did. I did. I had it on the TV outside while cleaning. Got to watch a good portion of that Saturday, and then Sunday followed at the end. But it was crazy to see how tough the course is playing.
Yeah, I only watched, honestly, I didn't watch a whole lot. I watched a little bit Saturday. Um, I saw a bunch of Rory. Honestly, didn't watch any of it Friday. Was cleaning up. We had a little party
Yeah.
here on Saturday and didn't catch one shot on Sunday.
Yeah, it was you know, to see Rory on the weekend just play that what he shot was crazy. But Scheffler had an awesome back nine on Saturday, and then Hovland kind of blew it on Saturday. But then you had Horschel finished was pretty consistent on Saturday as well. Being the only one under par in the first couple groups. And then Sunday was great because just to see. I mean, I know a lot of people are complaining about how hard it was and everything, but it was cool to see how many people were still in it because everybody did have the same shots, obviously,
Right.
but it was that ending, man, especially when Woodland eagled 16. Did you see that shot?
Saw the highlights, yeah.
Holy crap. And I was like, holy crap, he might pull this out, and then came up short on 17 on that par three, and then double bogeyed it. I felt terrible for him because I always liked him. I think he's a good dude, and I liked when he won the U.S. Open. And
Yeah.
I don't think he's won since then, but I was kind of rooting for him towards the end too. But Hovland obviously wanted to see him win because that was me and T's pick. But
Right. That's right. So I caught some highlights. I also caught a lot of the golf Twitter.
yeah,
Obviously there's a lot of argument about course setup and Rory saying that it was kind of just, you know, he prefers more runoffs. It he says it benefits the good chippers when there's runoffs compared to just rough around the greens. Um, my thing is just hit the green. I mean, we're comparing apples to apples here. I mean,
sure.
I don't. It is what it is. I just, you know, I enjoy when the course plays hard like that. Um,
Yeah.
it's fun to kind of see those guys struggle. Granted, yeah, they don't like to struggle, but they can't be throwing darts all the time. They are the
hmm
best in the world, but I definitely like seeing the greens firmed up like that and seeing a challenge for these guys. Rom had no problem with it. He said it was fine.
Yeah, that rough was pretty crazy. How long
Yeah,
ago it was?
yeah. I just, my thing is, especially with how long these guys hit it, firm up the greens and lengthen the rough. That's the only way that you really could contain these guys. I mean, a couple years ago, yeah, rough was like a big deal. Now it's not. Like you saw Bryson win what the U.S. Open, basically, from the rough. Or
Mhm.
was that the PGA Championship? I think it was the Open.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think it was US Open.
yeah, but in terms of course setup, you know, the harder the better, in my opinion. I like to see these guys. I love seeing like just 2 under for the day. Um, Granted,
Yeah, I was laughing when you saw the people with like Gooch and Horschel shooting 40, 44 on the front nine
uh,
or whatever it was they were doing. It was insane.
yeah. What do you think of Billy Ho?
I was laughing because Vince was texting Sunday morning about putting in some bets on like FanDuel and DraftKings, and he likes to play one off each other, like Horschel versus two, head to head matches. And I'm just like, I don't know how anybody plays with Horschel. Like the way he sets up, how long he takes, it would get under my skin.
Yeah,
Crazy.
yeah. He bothers me.
I
As
think
a
he bothers a lot of people.
yeah, as a person, I just think he's a kind of just an arrogant, you know, cocky little fuck. I don't know. I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah, I
Especially
mean, we make fun of Cantlay too about like the putting, but what he does for putting, he's a good putter. It seems like he makes a
right,
lot of stuff too. So
right. I just, I don't know. I just think, and Billy's had some choice words in the last couple years, just whatever. But yeah, I mean, another really good finish. Scotty's hot, man. Scotty is super hot.
yeah, what, two of the last three he's won. So
Yeah,
I found myself like flipping back and forth between NBC and the Golf Channel though to see the ending of the Puerto Rico, just because of the guy that won, Ryan Brem,
yeah.
however you say his name. 'Cause that
Yeah.
was an interesting story too.
Story's
So
crazy. I mean, he had to
yeah,
win to get his car and went out with his wife on the bag and
yeah,
absolutely torched the field.
yeah. It was cool to see that. I mean, because I think he lost his mom last year. I think Monday you talked about that too. So it was good to see a good guy like that win. I
Yeah,
was laughing. I was laughing though because I didn't recognize one name except Tommy Two Gloves on that whole leaderboard.
yeah. Well,
So
they mentioned how that was kind of going to be a weird turnout with you know the the API and the Puerto Rico
yeah,
Open. I remember seeing JJ Clean on Twitter like joking about it, like who's even going to be there. I think honestly, I think it was just like all last minute.
yeah, yeah.
So
But he gets in the Players Championship this week now.
yeah, speaking of, who's not in the Players Championship? Well, actually, he's the eighth alternate. Uh, Ricky Fowler.
Oh, I did see that. Even
Yeah,
though he won it, that's crazy.
yeah, and he is not yet in the Masters this year, which is bananas.
Yeah,
So I'd like to see Ricky win this year. I don't know what happened to him. It seems like of that group of the Spring Breakers, we already lost Smiley. Smiley is fallen off the earth.
right.
Spieth is kind of treaded some water there and kind of made a comeback. Obviously, JT's JT, so I'd hate to lose another spring breaker
Yeah.
from that group. But um, yeah, the players. What do you think about when people say it's the fifth major? Do you like that or not?
I don't like it. I mean, granted, it's the strongest field, you know, and the purse is crazy. What, $20 million this year?
Bananas.
Um, I mean, I enjoy watching it. I just don't, you know, I don't think it compares to
It's the biggest.
Masters or, to me, the Open or the US
No,
Open.
but it's the biggest purse of the year, which is crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
first place I think is like 3.4. That's pretty much double of any other Last place is like 43K. I think top like 10 is six figures. Like it's
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't like the whole fifth major thing. I think it's a great tournament. Um,
I mean, what Rory talked about that on Sunday, right?
did he?
About it. Yeah, I think he said something like, or was it yesterday? I can't remember, but basically, with the purse, what it is, and the amount of the field, something like you just had it. It's not a major, but it's getting pretty close to, that
Right.
stature, I should say.
Yeah, I think it definitely brings out the best play in a lot of guys. So in terms of like the actual event quality, I think it's definitely up there. But I was reading something yesterday about what Stevie said about Tiger playing the players a couple years ago. The greens were always like a lot slower, and he would always tell Tiger to give it a little bit more pace. And Tiger would be like, "No, I'm not changing my putting stroke because we have the Masters coming around."
Right.
So that's just how insane the guy was. He wouldn't change the pace of his swing because the greens were too small because he was looking ahead at the Masters. It's unbelievable.
I mean, I can't blame him. I
Yeah,
think the Masters is, obviously the top notch. So,
right. Well, we dove into the Southside Tour schedules last week. Now
yep.
we're going to dive into the West Side Tour schedules. And this is right in your wheelhouse there, Rob. Uh,
Yep.
for those of you guys that don't know, Rob plays on the West Side Tour. So actually on Saturday, my cousins were here and brother. And we were talking about. So I think my brother is going to play on both the South and the West, and
Okay.
I might jump on the West as well.
Really?
Yeah. My cousin was just saying, "Hey, I love to play on the West. There's just a lot of
Sure.
great tracks that uh, are not only on the schedule, but a lot of tracks that he hasn't played yet." So he's like,
Right.
"What do you think about doing both?" So we kicked it around, and I think we're gonna do both, and then my brother's gonna do both. That way, if one of us can't make it, one could play with the other. Vice
Right. That's
versa.
awesome.
Now with cross tour testing. So
That's great.
yeah, so I'm super pumped. There's a couple tracks on here that on the West Side Tour that I'm drooling over, and we'll get to those in a little bit here. But to start off, the opener of the West Side Tour schedule, we head to Randall Oaks. Randall Oaks is a course that I have not played.
Same here.
I've heard great things about it. So if there is courses on any of our schedules that Rob or I haven't played, the reason they're on there is because they've been referred to us, and we've done the research. We've looked at the website, we've looked at rates, we've looked at the course setup, we've looked at yardage, all of that.
Yeah.
And like I said, a lot of these courses are recommended to us to our guys, at the end of each year. So
Yeah. I mean, from what I read for Randall, is like it's it has demanding tee shots, but there's open holes that you can score on. A lot of risk reward shots. What I've read. So like a link style open holes versus there's some holes that are wooded, but that's good too.
right,
Um, the if you want to check it out, the drone flyover footage of the course on the site is pretty awesome.
I will check
And it
that
looks
out.
like, yeah, there looks like from that, there looks like there's plenty of, bunkers and water, but definitely holes to get after. But I'm excited to play this course for sure.
Yeah, you know what? I now that I think about it, I've probably watched it, but I've seen so many flyovers in the last like 3 months. I don't remember what's what.
Right.
Um, but I'm assuming just with the name Randall Oaks, I'm assuming there's certainly some tree line fairways, and a lot of trees there. So yeah, I'm
Yeah.
pumped. I'm pumped to get off of that. And then we head to one of your favorites for the Masters. We head out to
Yeah. Yeah. I've said this before for Bolingbrook. Like I've lived in Woodridge for 10 years now, and I've never tried playing it till last year when we put it in the schedule for, was it the playoffs or was it event 10? I can't remember.
yeah,
But I was just pleasantly surprised by it. I mean, you have the wide fairways. Yeah, it's a lot of target golf off the tees, but it's definitely you can put up a good score, and it's nice and open. You're going to have the wind issues, obviously, right? Because it's so open, but the greens are fast, but they rolled true. But I was pleasantly surprised for like the setup, the course itself, the clubhouse, the driving range, practice area. It's just top notch.
It is. It's very playable. It's always in great shape. Um, Super well manicured. And like I said, it's gettable. I mean, if you're striping the ball there, even if you're missing fairways, you could
Sure, yeah,
score well there.
yeah. You
Um,
just keep it in play. You're good.
right. Facilities are great there. Overall, I mean, Bolingbrook is definitely one of the top courses in the western suburbs. So
Hmm.
it's a good fit for the Masters. And then
Yep,
we head over to an OG. They've been with us since year one, and that's the third event at Orchard Valley. And Orchard
yep,
Valley is an extremely underrated public course. I'd almost put it in the hidden gem category.
yeah.
I feel like it's overlooked. A lot of people don't know about it. Again, a super well manicured public track that almost comes off as a country club.
Yeah,
Um, I think the layout is super fun. I think that's
it is.
I think that's
It is.
where you hit pretty much your entire bag. Yeah, you got a lot of short par fours, a lot of dogs, some water. I mean,
Quite a few challenging tee shots off the front too, right? Because you
yeah,
got
I was just gonna say,
two, three, four. Four that is that par five, right? You got hit over the water,
yeah,
and you can either try to cut it to have a shorter shot in, or play it safe. But yeah, it's got a little bit of everything.
it does. I was just gonna say it has a little bit of everything. It's got some sand dunes. When you turn back towards the clubhouse, and then the back is, I feel like, a little bit more open, except for a couple holes, but a lot of super cool par threes. Just overall, I think Orchard Valley is it's super well done. It's a super fun layout. You
Yep.
know, I can't imagine anybody playing that course and being like, well, that wasn't as advertised. Because again,
Yeah. No. Yeah, I agree with it because even on the back, you got some challenging tee shots too. I think what 16 is that par five you hit it over the water again, and then the last 17 is not an easy par three. It's long. And
yeah,
then 18, the finishing hole, feels like it's long as well, but it's a cool tee shot to your approach shot to the green. It is a hidden gem, I think.
definitely. And like I said, it's an OG. It's been with us since year one. I would assume it's going to be, on the schedule every year just because it's a great course. It's a good staple.
Yeah.
And then we head over to event 4 at Klein Creek. Um, you had a chance to play Klein Creek last year. I have not been out. I don't know if I've played Klein Creek, to be honest. Um,
Long time ago I played there. I think we were even because I think that was one of the spots that we looked at getting married, and that was 10 years
uh,
ago. So it's been a long time,
I kind of
to be
blend.
honest with you.
I kind of blend Klein Creek, Village Links, and there's another one. Maybe not Bloomingdale. I don't know. They all kind of blend together for me. But yeah, Klein Creek, I know, has a lot of water.
Hmm.
I believe there's some demanding tee shots there too as
Yeah,
well.
they have some wide fairways though with bailout areas. It seems like so
Yeah. So that's another one. So that's, another target for me to get back out there. I'm pretty sure I've played it. It's just been a while. And then we head to the second major of the year in the PGA Championship at another one of our favorites is Bowes Creek. Bowes Creek, I got my first look at it last year, and I
hmm
thought it was right up there with Heritage Bluffs. It's phenomenal. The layout is great. The course was in fabulous condition.
hmm
I think it's a tough layout, but I also think it's very forgiving slash you could score well there.
Yeah.
You need to hit some good shots.
Yeah. Again, targeted golf for a lot of the tee shots. But there's some holes that were wide. It was a fun layout. Last year was my first time playing it too. It was it was a fun walk. And it was just, you know, whatever. I think it's the first part three, then you tee off is at 4 or 5 that you have to hit over water too, which is, I like how everything's set up. I like how the course is routed.
Yeah.
I think they have a great mixture of different types of holes where it's, a longer par threes, but you have shorter par threes.
Yeah.
Some holes have a lot of sand, some don't. I think it's a mixture of everything that, obviously probably another course that you pretty much could play every club in the bag, type deal.
Yeah, I agree. For the first par three is what comes to my mind. It's pretty long uphill. And then on the back there, right before that par five, it's got a nice wooded background. It's a short par three. It's only like a wedge or a 9-iron, but yeah, they mix it up nice.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I just don't think Bowes Creek, for a public course, gets enough credit. I mean, I know it's ranked high up there, but I just think it's definitely especially in the western suburbs, it's got to be a top 5 course.
It was definitely worth the drive. I will say that.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we go to the sister course of Bowes Creek for the 6th event in Highlands, Belgium, another underrated course that the setup is unbelievable. The course it's always in great shape. Not only are we having a tour stop there for the West Side Tour event, but also our Scratch Series event 1 is there on June 13th. But yeah, Highlands, Belgium. I mean, I find it to be similar to Bowes Creek, just from like what catches my eye off the tee.
Yeah,
And
I felt like it was like Harborside, that link style course.
Yeah,
where fast greens, the wind's a big factor. So
you took that analogy right out of my mouth. I was just about to say, it literally is.
I apologize.
No. It literally is the harbor side of the west side or the western suburbs.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great point. Because it is lengthy for sure, and there is quite a bit of sand. But again, just like Harborside, if the wind's down, it's gettable. Overall, great track. And then speaking of, another staple in OG, we head out to Cantini for the 3rd major of the year, and that's the U.S. Open. And Cantini's they've been with us since year 1. Obviously, they have 3 nines. It's about as close as you'll get to a public course not being private in terms of condition wise.
Mm-hmm.
It's always in great shape. They hold a ton of different qualifiers and LPGA events,
college events, I think too.
Yeah, they host a lot of stuff. The place is always in great shape. There's always a lot of action going on there.
I mean, they have caddies for you if you want them. It's a fun atmosphere, cool golf course. Again, target golf for some of those holes. Some places are tight, wooded lined areas. That par 5, that's pretty long, but goes downhill and then, goes dog legs to the right that's always that's a good looking hole. But yeah, it's a good course. It's a good challenge for sure.
Yeah, it was our Masters last year. I think it has a better fit this year, being the U.S. Open. It
was really wet when we played it. I'd be curious to see what it is a little bit dried out, see if it's faster. Because those greens, I thought for sure, some of them are smaller, good amount of undulation, but I imagine it being harder to hold, right? I mean, I think those are the types of greens that they have.
Yeah, you playing it in July, you'll enjoy it much more than playing it, versus April last year. So looking forward to heading back out there. And then I don't think we need to talk much about the next
No,
event.
we don't. No.
We headed to the eighth event at Heritage Bluffs, obviously shared with the Southside Tour this year. Heritage Bluffs, hidden gem. We've talked about it plenty of times on the show. All around great track, affordable, super playable, super fun routing, everything. I mean, I just don't understand how you can't like Heritage Bluffs. So,
Right.
um, moving on to the last major of the year, in event 9, we have the Open Championship at Village Links. Village Links, like I said, I kind of blend it with like 3 or 4 courses out there.
Yeah.
What's your initial thought on Village Links?
So I've played Village Links for quite some time. We had it last year, obviously. It's it's hard. I mean, any course is hard in the wind, but it seems like if it's a windy day out there, it's ridiculously hard, because it seems like the tee shots don't go anywhere or anything like that. But it's a course that I know we keep on saying it, but if you keep it in play, you can shoot pretty well there. It's there's some forgiving holes. There's some holes that if you go after, you're going to be rewarded, right? And a lot of some holes have water, right? There's some hazards to play around with that you got to be careful with tee shots, but a lot of it is open fairways that if you hit it, it's going to roll out. But yeah, I enjoy that course a lot.
Yeah, I always remember and like I said, if I'm remembering the correct course, I always felt like Village Links was always in really good shape.
Yeah, I mean, Glen Ellen. I played there last year with your brother for his practice round. Some hard holes, some long holes on the back nine that are, you're going uphill, that makes it challenging. But again, like it's a good variety of holes that challenge everybody's game, right? Whatever level you're at, it's you make of it what you will, and it's a fun walk. It's an enjoyable course.
Yeah. And then we head over to the one that I've been drilling about, and that's event 10. We head out to Blackstone. So Blackstone was one of the courses that was recommended to us. We knew of Blackstone. We just weren't sure,
Sure.
logistically. But with the amount of people that referred it to us, we had to throw it on there. So this is already marked on my calendar. I can't wait to get up there. It's a bit of a hike for me. But Blackstone is in just about every article that you'll read about, courses that aren't necessarily on the outskirts of the city. But once you start getting into like the top courses, outside of that, so your Blackstones, your Shepherd Crooks, it's in every list. Everybody says it plays like a country club. It's always
Yeah.
great shape because it doesn't get a ton of traction. So I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah, I mean, I was reading about it, and they point out that they have 54 bunkers, and that it's built on wetlands, but the fairways are wide. Whenever I think of wetlands and marsh, I think of what is it
Lost
on the
Mark?
south? Yeah, Lost March. But by looking at the pictures and stuff like that, it looks a little bit more pleasing than that course.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. Lost Marsh is, to me, is super gimmicky.
Sure.
Yeah, it's got some fun holes, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean the website too for you guys, they do have a hole by hole breakdown. So it's like one of those courses. I think I do it for every course if I can, but you sit there the week of and you plan your tee shots, right? Going over the hole by hole
right.
overview. So
Oh yeah. So yeah, Blackstone, definitely mark that on your calendar. And then we head to the playoff, and another OG right in your backyard is Seven Bridges. And
yep.
Seven Bridges, I've always said it. So Seven Bridges front nine, it might be one of the best front nines around. A lot of cool holes. The routing and layout of the front nine is awesome. Even starting with the first hole, kind of have a little tuck green on a par 5 to start, and then the back is kind of
Whole
where
new course.
it's what?
It's a whole different course.
Yeah, it's a whole different course. It's definitely challenging, and if you could manage the back nine and just stay out of trouble, you could shoot well there.
I
It's
think 17 and 18 are the only holes that don't have water on the back nine.
Yeah, it's super enjoyable if you're staying out of trouble, but the front nine there is, like I said, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it'll be definitely. I think it's a good call for the playoff because a tougher track. See what happens. I'd be curious. I'm very interested to see the scoring at it, but yeah,
Right.
the back nine's a whole different animal.
It
A lot
is.
of you have to be absolutely perfect off the tee on the back nine.
Yeah. And even your second shots, laying up have to be pretty targeted.
Yeah, those two par fives
Yep.
on the from the get off. Yeah, and then gosh, I always think, is it 14 that you got to cross? It's dog leg left that you cross over um the river or the little stream they got going, and then it's that short par three. But yeah, it's definitely a challenging course. If you shoot good on the front nine, you kind of wait stock up those strokes for the back nine just in case to
Oh
help
yeah.
yourself out.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. And then the championship. And we head to a new venue that's never been on our schedule, but we've been trying to get on there for the last couple of years, and that is Prairie Landing. Um, Prairie Landing is known, as one of the top courses, in the Western region. A lot of water, super fun layout. Um, Again, a course it's always in impeccable shape for a public track.
Yeah, it's Robert Trent Jones to
Yeah,
the second.
yeah,
I loved reading. The course will make you feel as though you've been transported to a seaside links course in Ireland.
that's a little much, but it's
Hey,
it's definitely it's definitely yeah, I guess it has some of that vibe. I mean, there's a ton of water. I found it to be super hard the one time I played it. So that's going to be a super challenging championship
mm-hmm.
for, the West Side Tour Championship. So that's the rundown. That's the 2022 West Side Tour schedule, and it's absolutely stacked. And like I said, there's definitely 3 or 4 courses that are marked on my calendar that I'm going to go out and play. To be determined whether I'm going to jump on the West Side Tour, but I think I'm going to. Um, so looking forward to that. I know Rob is super pumped, geared up for this season.
I am.
So yeah,
I mean, I was outside, had the clubs all ready to go on Saturday, and then nothing.
yeah,
But
yeah. The snow on Monday kind of put a damper on. It was like, come on, we're back here again.
right,
But yeah, the weather, I told you, it's gonna turn here shortly.
mm-hmm.
Courses were packed on Saturday. It's only a matter of time before we get rolling, and the West Side Tour schedule kicks off. The end of April there. So post Masters, everybody's going to be having the itch. We'll probably most likely have a couple rounds in by that time. So we're gearing up here, less than
Yep.
6 weeks out. So with that being said, Rob, we jump in to the Player Championship. Book it with T picks.
Here we go.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
What do you like this week?
I actually was looking into that prior to this, because I'm going with Colin
Morikawa?
Marikawa. Yep, Colin. I do like Rambo too, but I think he needs to figure out which putter he's going with for this weekend.
Okay. All right. Do you think you should roll with the Spider?
No, well, I don't know if you saw, but I think at Riviera he switched on the last round because he's using that old school, or not the old school, but the OG, the Rossi too.
Yeah.
And then he flipped over to I forgot which one it is, but it's another like mallet type putter that he had for the last couple weeks. So
Gotcha.
I always like following that stuff on Twitter.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, T's picks for the Players Championship is his long shot is Hatton, 65-1.
Hmm.
Then he's got your boy Spieth, 60-1. And then we got Brooksy, 50-1. Matsuyama, 25-1. And T's favorite, Cantlay, 20-1. And you could book it with T.
Okay.
What do you think about those picks?
Um, Cantley's I like that. I'm always going to be on board with Spieth.
Of course you are.
Hatton, Hatton. He's still in it on this past Sunday too. So, and I always like watching him.
He's a character.
He's a roller coaster. He makes me feel like, some of the stuff that we do on the course is okay.
Yeah.
Not that we throw clubs or anything, but when you get upset or you talk to yourself, I always find that funny.
I get severe anxiety watching him play because every shot that he hits, like obviously it's in the air and you don't know where it's going to go, but I'm just like waiting on his reaction for every shot.
Yeah. I do think he's really funny. Like, his sense of humor.
He's also a huge loose cannon.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. I get a kick out of him though. I mean, I think he's a guy who, I think he's just super passionate, about the game, and he knows his skill set, but just things haven't clicked together for him.
Yeah, I wanted to say JT too, but then I saw it on Twitter, the stat of, and I forgot who it was, maybe Justin Ray, but the last time someone won the Players and then finished in the top 10 was Adam Scott, like he won like 10 plus years ago. So, that's crazy to me to think.
Yeah. Speaking of him, have you seen the whole drama around this guy's sweaters lately?
The same one that he keeps wearing.
He's wearing that like puke brown sweater, and I don't know if is he advertising somebody, or is he just still?
No, he's sponsored. I forgot whatever that clothing brand is, but that's who sponsors them, I believe. But I forget. Is it Hannah on Twitter? She kept on like day 5, day 6.
Hannah Gregg, I think.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. He. I would like to see Scott back in the winner circle, but yeah, his wardrobe has kind of fallen off. I always felt like he was always, pretty well dressed. Obviously a handsome lad, but yeah, this week should be interesting. Like I said, I just feel like this tournament brings out the best of the field. So I think we're in for another, good finish. Hopefully, nobody goes crazy the first couple days, and we have an eventful weekend, and then hopefully Sunday it comes down to a handful of guys, 1 or 2 shots off the lead, and great endings. We've been blessed so far this year. Hopefully we get
right.
So
well, the weather looks, I think, pretty bad for the weekend, so it'll be interesting.
There it does.
Yeah, I think I was reading windy and rainy. I think 80% chance of rain. I thought I saw.
Woof. For the whole weekend?
I think for Saturday, Sunday.
Yowzer.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how that's going to play. That's tough, because then you start getting into the combo of, clean and replace. At what point does it get, you can't. Sunday, see, that's tough to have that on a Sunday. That's like almost forbidden.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully we don't see that. But yeah, as always, Rob, are you ready for the top 3?
Yeah, give it to me. Let's hear it.
All right. I want to know, what are the top 3 things that go into your bag for spring golf that are removed for summer golf?
That's a good question. I don't know if I do things differently. Maybe I keep the umbrella in there. Instead of leaving it in the trunk, I keep it in this, the holder. That'd be probably number 3.
That's in my top 3.
2 would probably be I have the same pair of. They're not even rain pants. It's kind of embarrassing to say, but they're like Nike swish pants, I guess you would say.
That's
They're
what I
not
think.
legit. That's not legit. They're not legit golf rain pants, but they're my. I consider them my golf rain pants.
We're in
So,
the same boat.
so I keep that in the side pouch. I've had them, I think, for 10 plus years now. Surprised they still fit. And then, I mean, the rain gloves always stay in. They never come out, especially after seeing that dude wearing one during the summer as his golf hack. But for the most part, I like to leave like quarter zip or the FootJoy. I do have a rain pullover FootJoy that
Yeah.
stays in there constantly.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I would say that and an extra pair of socks.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'll have to add that. But yeah, we pretty much have a similar top three. I would say umbrella two at number three. Number two, I just put it in one category as rain gear. So
Mm,
rain pants, the pullover slash windbreaker, rain gloves are in there as well.
oh sure.
Yeah. And then number one is shoes. So rain shoes, not even rain shoes, but just like I separate it to where I have spring shoes and then I have summer shoes.
Oh,
So
for your golf shoes, you have ones that you. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, I do have a
yeah,
shitty pair that I play with when I know it's the springtime versus. Oh yeah, that's a very good point.
yeah, so I have these pair of Nikes that I only wear, during shitty weather. And
Tiger Woods 13s.
no, I wish they were. And they're like kind of forest green so that,
Mhm.
you know, I can wear them, and even if they do get kind of muddy and shitty, you can't really tell. They're like not white like my Ignites
Sure,
or whatever,
sure,
but the outside of them, they're almost like rain shoes because the outside of them is like this, vinyl, you know, I don't know the exact material, but it's not like cloth, right?
sure.
So the water just beads off them. They're awesome.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
yeah, I tend to wear those, in the beginning of the season. Um, and then
That's a great
obviously,
point. I should keep an extra pair of shoes in the trunk. Good point.
yeah, and then honorable mention, I would say just a couple additional towels.
Another good
That's
one.
yeah, that's always an issue early on with you know uh, fat shots and just wet conditions. I
Sure.
feel like one wet shot could take up a quarter of your towel.
That's good point.
You
Good
know,
point.
so yeah, the towels are super necessary. Around this time. So
You got me thinking too, because then I keep the glove attachments for my push cart, the winter gloves
yeah,
in the side. I take those out there summer too.
right. Yeah, and then I would say probably not until like June do I make the swap. You know, and then depending on what kind of day it is out, I'll go from spike to spikeless, just
Hmm.
if it's dry. But yeah, all that rain stuff comes out, and the umbrella probably stays, but for the most part, everything gets swapped. So,
There you go. That's a good one, Tom. I enjoyed that.
oh yeah, know what else I enjoy, Rob?
What's that?
Is registration, and registration is officially open as of March 1st. We've seen a ton of traction.
Yeah, it was awesome to see all the new signups, to be honest with you. I mean, we got our OG guys, but it's cool to see all the new names
Yes,
coming in.
registrations are flying in. So as a reminder, registration is open. It will not end this year, so there will be no deadline. You're able to sign up, throughout the season. But yeah, we're officially open. Come on and sign up for the 2020 Chicago Golf Tour, 2022 Chicago Golf Tour. But
There you go.
as always, Rob, we'll see you in the fairway.
See you in the fairway, Tom.
See you, buddy.